Professor Marketing as a resource person. Professor Vishwa Bhushan Das has done BTech in Engineering Electrical from NIT Bhopal and PGDM from XM Bhubaneswar. He did his PhD in Management Studies in the area of engagement pattern in digital and social media marketing, DSMM. Of his total work experience of 38 years, 26 years were in corporate industry. He has done work in prominent IT companies like CMC, HCL, Hewlett Packard, Hexaware Technology, Paradigm, Broadline Group, Godrej Infotech, and Blue Star Infotech, and held in positions such as General Manager and Vice President in Business Development. In his 12 years of academic activities, he was the director of an autonomous PGDM and MBA institute in Mumbai for over 6 years. Then as a professor in IBS Mumbai and SOA University Bhubaneswar. Currently, he is a professor marketing in BIITM Bhubaneswar, teaching corporate strategy and marketing. He regularly makes presentations in seminars, conferences, and has chaired a few sessions as well. He also contributes papers and articles in journals. He presented a research paper in the international conference at the University of Leicester, United Kingdom in September 2016. May I request Professor Vishwa Bhushan Das to carry forward the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, Vaishali, for the nice, crisp introduction. Accepting a small change in my middle name. My parents named me Biswa Bihari Das, but doesn't matter. As long as the first name and the last name are all right, I'm okay with it. Thank you, Vaishali. It was a nice, brief introduction. I'm so happy that you introduced me on this to this August forum. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody, including, let me start with our respected advisors, sir, principals, sir, deans, sir, and all my esteemed faculty, colleagues, and my dear friends in various batches. And I think the students already know me, but I do not know in this webinar if there are any people who probably would not be even knowing me. Vaishali has given a very nice brief introduction. However, during the presentation, you can have my full name and the contact number, etc. all there in the slide. So probably in future, if you have any communication to make in terms of any doubt or any clarification or anything to take forward, you are always most welcome. Planning to spend another about 45-50 minutes on the topic of the day, that's professional ethics in workplace, and followed by the question answer. However, I would request you, in case you have some question, any point or clarification to see, before you forget or before we close the meeting, you can also parallelly post it on the chat box. And I'm sure Vaishali would be in between having a look at it. And if not, in between my delivery of this 45-50 minutes, at least at the end of the delivery, definitely will try to address as much of points or questions or clarification that you seek. Thank you so much. And here with the slides here, I'll start the delivery. I will try to make the slide share on full slideshow mode so that probably you can see it fully. However, sometimes because of the bandwidth issues or maybe because of the flipping of next slides and next slides, there are sometimes lags in terms of the network. In that case, I will try again come back to the edit mode. But in the edit mode, I'll try to see that you can still probably read the text or whatever is being visible in the screen. Give me a second. I'll share the screen now of the other window where I have the slide. I've already shared. Vaishali, would you please help me out in case you are able to see my slides? Just the moment you give an okay, I'll carry on.
Yes, sir, the slides are visible.
Okay. And let me also make it full slideshow mode to begin with, unless we have problem in between. Can I move? Is it on full slideshow mode?
Yes, sir. It's completely visible. It's in full.
Oh, thank you. So once again, PIITM welcomes one and all, and the topic of the living, professional ethics in workplace. Okay, before talking about specifically about professional ethics, just let's have a look at the, I will not call it a formal definition, but probably as a common man's understanding or a layman's definition could be something like this. Professional ethics are principles that govern the behavior of a person or group in a business environment. And when we say business environment, it need not be a commercial business environment. For that matter, any organization doing work for a set of target audience is actually in a business of some service or some product. To elaborate and be more specific, even government is also in a business. The government is in the business of public service to the citizen of the state or the country. So that's how we look at business environment. So any organizational activity, any transactions happening, any participation happening, any collaboration happening, everything will come under this. And now that we at least know what is professional ethics, now let's go back to understand, by the way, what is this very basic term called ethics? And I mean, sometimes, I mean, we all understand, no? I don't think in this August crowd anybody would be there who would say, I don't know what ethics is. But the point is, it gets blurred with so many other terminology that comes to my mind in anytime that we think of ethics. Look at the second point. Based on some values and morality, professional ethics provide rules on how a person should act towards other people, institution, and community, society. So, and maybe world at a large stage in such an environment. So here, I can get a little confused. I'm talking of ethics. I say it's based on values and morality, but probably if I deeply think, all three things are the same. They mean the same. They point at the same concept, truly. Values, morality, ethics. Then why should I use three separate terms? Okay, so probably quickly in half a minute I'll tell you. Let me say what is values, morals, and then we'll talk about ethics. Values is defined as the principles and ideals which helps in making the judgment of what is more important. So it's something internal. Before I look at something, before I take a conclusion, let me think whether this is, I make a judgment based on principles and ideals. That actually, the values are the stimuli of my thinking towards the judgment. So there's something inherent, embedded in me, or for that matter, whoever is trying to portray himself in a situation of ethical interactions. Morals are the principles that guide individual conduct within a society. Look, when we are at the value stage, we are purely talking about that individual and internal thinking of his, what is there inside his mind, what is embedded in his thought process. But when you come to morals, we connect him to the society or people outside. Morals are the principles that guide individual conduct within society. While morals may change over time, over a context, over situation, sometimes the guiding individual guidance may change. Looking at the situational context, they remain the standards of behavior that we use to judge right versus wrong. Now, ethics. Ethics refers to the guidelines for conduct. Here, the individual is conduct. Then when it comes to ethics, we take a broader perspective, similar guideline for conduct where certain rules are also set. That's why you normally find ethics is used with terms like code of conduct, rules of behavior. So now all of the three things are a little blurred in mind in terms of concept. But when I talk of ethics, we necessarily talk of how we are conducting ourselves that address questions of morality, and then I conduct myself. And it's generally the generally accepted code of conduct. Whereas morals may not be generally accepted within the same family, within the same community, within the same society. Individuals, they may have different standards of morals. But when it comes to ethic, at least within a close community, within a family, we agree to a code of conduct. Okay, a member of the family or member of the community or member of the institute of the society will behave, is expected to behave in such manner. These are not, we are not going to get into detail, but since we are touching upon ethics, I'm not talking of professional ethics alone. Let's go back to general ethics, where broadly there are many school of thoughts about ethics. But for broad understanding, which will be directly applicable in professional ethics and in organizational behavior context, interactions with others or group, or taking decision for other people of the state, or leader take decision for the juniors. What are the two theories that actually create a lot of confusion and are always kept like guidelines? One is called the utilitarianism, where it says morality depends on the consequences. The other one is called deontology. There it says morality depends on the conformity of moral principle. Whether the consequences is bad does not matter. As long as the moral principles are conformed, adhered to, then it's deontologically ethical. Whereas in utilitarianism, the focus is on the consequences. Even if it conforms to moral principle, the consequences may not be good. I may stick to my moral principle, but my action might have created some harm to somebody else. It happens in society. Somebody says, "Hey, I'm following my moral principle and I'm doing this." But I mean, especially if I give two small examples of beggars, children, hunger of the children. If a beggar comes and asks for some money, immediately we react on a deontological, you look healthy, hearty, and quite young. Why are you not working? Why are you baking? Why is the why?
Yeah, you all be there. He'll be joining us within 2 minutes. Am I
Sure.
audible?
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
He'll be joining within 2 minutes. He's having some network issue.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Let all the participants be there.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah, good evening, everyone. It seems that Sir has got disconnected. I request you all to please be there in the webinar since till we try to connect with Sir. Thank you.
Okay, I continue.
Yes, sir, sure.
Thank you. Okay, so we left where this talking about utilitarianism and deontology. Deontology is more on consequences, and we do not really so much focus on the the basic principle of moral values, because as long as the consequences are good and generally it is seen, if it is generally good for the whole community at large, then we accept it. It may sometimes be misused. That's a different story. But that's what the difference between deontology and utilitarianism. Now, quickly, we all know there is something called law, which is binding on everybody. And law is absolutely technical. That's completely almost black and white. Although there are sometimes gray areas in law, but those are always taken care by the court of, the just judiciary system or the judiciary authorities. But there is a huge thing called ethics, which may not actually, everything may not be law. So there is certain thing is said that law often represents an ethical minimum. Because everything cannot be put into law. In that case, probably life may be difficult to also manage. So whatever is basic minimum, बिना जिसके society में कुछ भी discipline नहीं रहेगा, those basic minimum we make it to law. Once the law is enacted, then there is no debate. Everybody adheres to that. Everybody says, okay, you agree to that, I agree to that, the others agree to that. Everything is fine and comfortable. But whatever is not within law, yet absolutely ethical, there will always be a little bit of confrontation. Because that's why this is the subjective part of ethics. It may vary from person to person. Something, if I have met the conditions of law, beyond that, whatever I am doing, even if somebody else thinks it unethical, as long as I am thinking it's ethical, I get into an argument. I get into debate. Look at this situation now. We see it every day between within the society, between individuals. We see it every day on day-to-day life also. Look at what's happening in the social media now. There is a huge debate and controversy going between Twitter versus Government of India. That is the law of India. Okay, whatever is our law, it's already enacted, the new IT Act. So, it's sometimes very so confusing. Some of the other social media companies have adhered to that law, but Twitter has some issues probably. And it's not only Twitter alone. If you actually take your opinion of the public also, there will be huge lot of public who say, no, the Twitter is all right, all that, although it's debatable. That's why I said when it comes to those things which are ethical but not within the purview of law, which is beyond the purview of law, then there is always a confrontation and disputes, and it may lead to very unpleasant end results as well. We just talked about relationship between law and ethics. That way we said the minimum thing of ethics is taken care by law. And there are always an area where we ask the question, is an act legal? Then we ask another question, is an act ethical? They are two different questions. They're not same. Although in terms of values, moral principles, rule of conduct, they may appear to be same. But if something could be legal yet not ethical, and something could be ethical yet not legal, all those controversy and debate come into our mind. Now, since the topic of the day is professional ethics in workplace, let's come to workplace. Workplace is always in form of an organization normally, because there are multiple people involved and there are so many things here. If I have to, on a common man's understanding, if I have to talk about how is ethics relevant in organizations, then there are small bit of things which probably are matter of personal behavior or personal habit or personal conduct, but they relate to ethics also. For example, attendance, being punctual, maintaining safety quality. Whatever is law, that's the minimum everybody has to adhere to. But here we are not talking of law. We are talking of that layer of ethics which is beyond law. For example, in attendance, we talk of 75% attendance to be qualifying for the university exam. Does it mean that if I have already got 75%, I am fit, fine, healthy, available, yet I will not go to college? Or does it mean that I don't take a minimum safety standards because I am taking 2 vaccines? Should I not take safety standards? In fact, COVID has taught us a lot of things between ethics and law also. A lot of things we are agreeing to when it comes to law. But when the eyes of the law are not focused on us, we tend to violate in the market, in commonplace, in institutes. Then if somebody, then unless we see a traffic police, we do not bother about whether belt लगा है कि नहीं, या टू व्हीलर में हेलमेट पहना है कि नहीं, उसको दूर से देखने से वो सब हम लगा देते हैं. So that's it. There are a lot of things which are around attendance, safety, quality, productivity, loyalty, security, profitability in organizations, in business, commercial organizations. Everything is some. There are a lot of things which are beyond law, yet are in the purview of whether it's ethical or not. So some organization we find that they probably do certain things and justify it in the mix in the excuse of making profit. By my job is to make profit for the organization. I am the marketing manager. My job. So he does not make anything illegal, because if he does that illegal, it comes under the law, and that fellow will be prosecuted. He does meet legal standards, but beyond that, he doesn't maintain ethics for the community and society. There we have problem. That's why in our mind, if we look at business organization also, we look at different organization, different pictures. I'll just give an example. Of course, when it comes to ethical pictures in mind, opinion varies. But a lot of people, including myself, think that probably Tatas are more ethical than maybe, I don't want to name, but maybe some other equally successful or more successful organization of India, right? Okay, both are meeting legal standards. No, none of them are doing illegal work, by the way. The moment they do illegal work, the company will be prosecuted. Both are doing legal work, yet I carry a separate concept in my mind, or an impression that this particular company X is more ethical. And while joining jobs and placement, we also look for it. कि मुझे अगर 2 ऑफर मिला है, more or less बाकी चीज सिमिलर है, तो मैं जो थोड़ा ethical company है उसको prefer कर रहा हूँ join करने. Lot of things can be listed under ethical issues at workplace basically, which actually are professional ethics. But let me tell you, the way we say na, कि charity begins at home, right? So in my opinion, and everybody's opinion rather, professional ethics is not different ethics. Professional ethics also begin with personal ethics. If somebody carries very vague notions about personal ethics, he will have a tendency to also not carry professional ethics. It's like a projection of my inner self. So although the professional ethics, personal ethics, and general ethics concepts may look a little different in terms of stages and level, but they all have the same root. These are some of the lists. I don't have to read them out. You can see in the these are all related to the workplace. A lot of things are obvious: drug, alcohol, employee theft, conflict of interest, but a lot of things, quality control. They will just, there are some companies who will just meet the standards of the law. Beyond that, they will not maintain quality. But there are some companies who grow beyond the legal minimum of quality and give more quality, and also present that to the customer with all the benefits, and then they get the value out of it also. So if you actually adhere to good ethical practices, even in workplace, it actually gives long-term benefits. The way I said, Tatas have been there for since independence, much before independence, and over a period of 70, 80, 100 years, over a period of 2-3 generations, they have built up that reputation of ethical company image. Whereas others may be equally old, with some of the Birla organizations, some Dalmia, they were also equally pre-independence days company. They may not be having in our mind similar notion about being at what level of ethics. Then of course, discrimination and all these things, these lists are endless, very common sense related. Environment pollution is another ethical issues, for which whatever is law, though you cannot violate that way. But there are some companies, they just meet the standards of the law. Beyond that, they are not taking care of the environment. Those are again ethical issues at workplace. They also relate to professional ethics. And so I will not go through the list now, because the idea is to, you can read the list in your own day-to-day life, but idea is to give how professional ethics is more relevant because it's in the organizational context. Of course, personal ethics is important, and it may vary from person to person. So somebody like Dalai Lama, somebody like Mahatma Gandhi, somebody like maybe Martin Luther King, somebody like Nelson Mandela, or some spiritual gurus of our community and society in India, and all our my gurus, they all have very high level of ethics. We have all read about that. the mythological character of Bhagwan Ramji, and in every religion, even in Islam or Sikh and Christianity and Jain, everywhere they are lit up. But when it comes to organization, let us understand what is professionalism, which affects me more. I may get inspired by Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela, but when I'm working in business organization, I cannot go by those principles. I have to understand what is professional ethics so that I also serve like a good citizen of the country. And by the way, the organization is also a citizen of the country called corporate citizen. Like I am an individual citizen, any company is also a corporate citizen. So even the organization has to behave like a good citizen with ethical standards. And why it has to behave that way? They are responsible to 4 distinct groups, especially organization. They are responsible to the society in general. Somebody may not be my customer. He is a member of the public. He is in the society, he is in the community, he is in this world. I am responsible to that in whichever business I am doing. I cannot do any harm in the name of making successful business to him because he is not my customer, right? Customers, of course, are your distinct group. Then your employees, and then, of course, investors who have funded you, who have promoted your organizations. Having understood how professional ethics is defined and how is it important in understanding in our day-to-day life, especially for people like the youngsters here, because all the seniors here already have enough knowledge about ethics and they have faced enough professional ethics situations in their experiences in the workplace. But I'm talking about those students who are in this today's audience, who another 1 year hence would be joining companies and will be getting into professional ethics arena. So to understand that, let's look at professional ethics from the dimensions of types of ethics. There are broadly 3 types of ethics when it comes to organizations or professional ethics: transactional ethics, participatory ethics, and recognitional ethics. Quickly, transactional ethics, the name are very, quite clear in understanding. Man is a social animal. He has to act and react with others. So wherever there is a transaction between 2 entities, 2 individuals or 2 companies, that will adhere to certain transactional ethics. The practice of ethics and all this transaction is called a transactional. Participatory ethics is guided by common good. I am a member of the community. I should be participating in some welfare and some activity which is good for the common community. It may not be so directly beneficial for me. I cannot be selfish and stay away. I must participate. And the third is ethics of recognition or recognition ethics. And as human beings, recognition is endowed with the ability to understand the problems of others. मैं ट्रांजैक्शन में एथिक्स मेंटेन करता हूं, मैं कम्युनिटी में पार्टिसिपेट करता हूं एंड कंट्रीब्यूट भी करता हूं फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द कम्युनिटी. बट when it comes to individual others as individuals, I probably don't give enough due respect and regards and importance to them. So as human beings, people are endowed with the ability to understand the problems of that. That is the human being's ability, not animals. Okay, God has given us that ability. That's why things like empathy, sympathy, cooperation, support, help, all those terms come into mind. This quality leads to the recognition of individuals, institutions, and societies. Conflicting situations can be solved by correct recognition of the situation. Sometimes in organization, senior, junior may, even if sometimes in the junior, in fact, all of you will face that. We have all faced in our younger days in various organizations, corporate, academia, everywhere. Sometimes in organization, a junior may have a more meaningful and more contextual and more pragmatic opinion, but just because senior does not like the opinion, he may not forward the ideas to the top management. He does not get the support of his seniors. There, this recognition of ethics is a guideline that even seniors should give due respect to the opinions and suggestions of juniors. All suggestions may not be workable, but they can always discuss and convince. See, gentlemen, you are younger than me. I have some experience in such scenario. Such opinion or suggestion does not work. I have to explain them and then take a different decision, whatever I feel correct. But that recognition, if that recognition of ethics is not there, then I'll just look at my juniors and say, "Yaar, tu kal ka bachcha hai, tu kya suggestion de raha hai yaar?" बस तू काम सीख अभी, बस अभी 5-6 साल तू चुप रहो कंपनी में, काम सीख. I can carry, and we have seen bosses of that kind of attitude also. But however, I am not saying that everybody follows that. As I rightly said, ethics and law are different. These are something which is subjective. All our bosses or all our colleagues or all our juniors may not be carrying equal degree of recognition ethics. But these three types of ethics are important for professional ethics. Anyway, these are some detailed slides about transactional ethics and participatory ethics and ethics of recognition. If you look at these examples also in transaction ethics, we talk about one-to-one transaction, maybe business transaction, or maybe institution-to-institution transactions also. Both sides, parties to transaction, the provider and the user, I am a service provider, that is a consumer or a customer, are expected to demonstrate ethical behavior towards each other. I must give that kind of product or service, whatever it will actually solve these issues. I should not exaggerate the benefit. At the same time, the customer or consumer also should honor my position of timely payment, due payment, unnecessary discount मांग के harass करके prolong करना, all those things are, so both sides are responsible. So in transaction, we should all maintain honesty, sincerity, integrity, and we should also have that ethics of recognition, because the other side also has his own situation problems. Participatory ethics, of course, I have already explained that even a company is a corporate citizen, like you and me are citizens also. Company is called a corporate citizen. That's why in business law आप पढ़ते ना, a company is a permanent perennial entity. People have life cycle 70, 80, 90 साल में मर जाते हैं. But companies, even if the individuals working in that company retire and no more exist, but the company theoretically goes. There are companies we are running for 150, 200 years. Of course, for other management and failure of business, a company may close down. That's a different issue. But companies are also treated as corporate citizens. They also adhere to the rule of law. They also pay tax to the government like any responsible citizen. Companies pay company tax on their profit or on their minimum alternate tax, whatever is now is the rule. And they also participate in a lot of CSR activities, which has become law. But maybe 15 years back, they were not law. There are a lot of things as a corporate citizen also companies have to adhere to in terms of participatory ethics and ethics of recognition. I have already said the example is same example that I am giving. Senior citizens and elderly people beyond an age should feel obliged to give way to younger members more control and more responsibility. Of course, because of the experience, they should support them also. Not that मेरे नीचे मेरे जूनियर होके कोई नया प्रोफेशनल ज्वाइन किया है, जैसे वो ज्वाइन करता है बोल दे कि तेरे को जॉब मिल गया ना, अब तू काम संभाल, मैं दूसरा काम देख रहा हूँ. I have to support him. After all, he's new to the organization. He's new to the job. So all those things are around ethics. And again, my statement which I have already made, good ethical practices give huge benefits. Still, हम लोग ethical problem face करते हैं situation. All of us know good ethical practice gives huge benefit. Example, I give you Tata. They have got huge benefits of their image and brand equity because of good ethics. बट हम लोग इंडिविजुअल ट्रांजैक्शन में कंफ्यूजन में लालच में पड़ के कुछ कभी कभी गलत काम कर लेते हैं. Just because I am giving this delivery does not mean that I am free from all of us are similar human beings. I have also learned a lot in my life over a period of time. Sometimes I have seen, oh, probably there my behavior is not ethical, I should have changed my behavior. Always, it's for everybody's awareness, learning, and growing with ethical standards. So these are the list which you can check out later on. Things like personal gain के लिए हम कभी कभी अनइथिकल बन जाते हैं, कभी कभी इंडिविजुअल वैल्यू वर्सेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वैल्यू में कंफ्लिक्ट होता है. इंडिविजुअल में भी ethical, but the organization might be doing something unethical, but he is an employee, he has to keep quiet. If he opens his mouth and बाहर बोल देता है, the company sacks him. That's why in fact उसको प्रोटेक्शन देने के लिए अभी तो एक लॉ भी बना है, व्हिसल ब्लोअर एक्ट करके गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का बना. पहले नहीं था, 15-20 साल पहले व्हिसल ब्लोअर एक्ट नहीं था, बाद में. तो पहले जब नहीं था तो सोचो ये कितना इंडिविजुअल वैल्यू वर्सेस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कितना डिफिकल्ट होता होगा एम्प्लॉय. Managers value and attitude, I have already explained that. If the manager has pragmatic approach, ethical approach, or effective approach, that will also be visible here. Then competitive pressure. In business we are all under pressure. Target दिया गया है, मुझे ये meet करना है. Competition is selling more of the same services and product in my area. Why I am lagging there? Then I probably to catch up, I may do some small to large unethical practices. All these things are come under this. And of course, for multinational company and transnational companies who operate in various countries, in different community, different culture, different societies, they have larger issues to handle. With this, I am just talking about certain prominent ethical issues which I thought as case study I want to share with you, because theory to bahut hota hai. Certain events or happenings or incidents which have actually created havoc in the world. They have made global world headlines, they have made national headlines, and on ethical scale. So that will probably make the professional ethics at workplace more meaningful to us. By the way, I am not saying that personal ethics, sorry, I have already explained to you that personal ethics rather play a major role in professional ethics. So here, in this today's session, since we are focusing on professional ethics, I'm not getting into much of personal ethics. So I'm getting into professional ethics, and there are some eye-catching incidents and happenings, real-life incidents and happenings, which I have seen through the years. Something is 15 years back, something is 10 years back, something is 40, 50 years back. I'll explain. They're all documented. They're all available in archives in the various news media articles also. I'll take you through 3-4 such classic cases at global level, between two individuals, between individual and company, between country to country also, how unethical things have been happening. खास करके आप लोग तो सब जानते हो, कोविड सिचुएशन में तो lot of country to country unethical things are also more visible and now understandable. They may not be under the purview of law still, but they are still unethical. Rather, in the purview of law, both the countries are correct. I will come to those cases a little later. Let me tell you, one major thing I'm talking of today is relates to finance world. Mostly it appears in stock exchange market, which is called insider trading. Some of the students already, some of the students and all my seniors already know about it. However, for the sake of clarity to people who are going to professional ethics sessions for the first time, insider trading refers to trading on price sensitive information by company employees or individuals, maybe even director or promoter, closely connected with the firm. Why it is called insider? Because he has access to certain confidential information which has not been made public yet. Either it has not been posted in public domain, or it has not been officially declared to the stock exchange and to the board and to the public in general, or to complete society. I have that special information, and I have the advantage of time. Before that incident actually happens, I want to take advantage of that. There are cases which are good. There is a classic case where an Indian, a champion Indian was involved. We'll go to that story of insider trading later on. I'll just go flip through the some of the listings that I will be going through. Insider trading is one we'll be talking about, how ethics is violated there. And in HR scenario, HR man, I'm not talking about HR. I'm talking of an organization where human resource management related problems. And there are a list of them, but probably I'll quickly talk about glass ceiling and sexual harassment, because both relate to and both relate to professional ethics. So I'll be quickly talking about that, and then after the So we'll come back to insider trading in detail when I go to that case study, that a real life story that I'll be sharing with you. In glass ceiling, actually the meaning of glass ceiling as per Cambridge dictionary is that a point after which you cannot go any further. It's a barrier, it's a ceiling. Like घर में ऊपर का जो roof होता है, that's a ceiling. उसके ऊपर हम नहीं जा सकते. But वो तो concrete का है, इसलिए हमें दिखता है. We can see that ceiling. I know I cannot go beyond this. This much is my only head space available. But glass ceiling is actually made of glass. You have a false notion that you can go up, but the moment you try to go, you hit it as a barrier. And this is the actual meaning of Cambridge dictionary, that it's a point beyond which you cannot go further. Usually used in terms of improving your position at work. Various reasons are given for the apparent glass. But now let's incorporate glass ceiling कैसे practice. Because normally so far, the society, the world, the community is all dominated by male. All the things are changing. Now, of course, a lot of women are participating in the economic engine of the country, economic activities, products, services, and consulting and governance and whatever. But earlier it was all dominated by male, and things are changing. So in companies, still there is visible that an unofficial policy regarding women employees or even minorities, why only women employees? They are prevented from taking a higher position beyond a step. आप खुद देख लीजिए ना, किसी भी बड़े बड़े इंडिया में जितने बड़े कंपनी है या वर्ल्ड में जितने बड़े कंपनी है, सीईओ डायरेक्टर लेवल में हार्डली 3 to 5% के एम्प्लॉई वुमेन होंगे. बट शायद आईटी कंपनी और कंसल्टिंग कंपनी में लोअर लेवल एंड मिडिल मैनेजमेंट लेवल में ऑलमोस्ट 50-50 वुमेन एंड मेन होंगे. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू टॉप मैनेजमेंट पोजीशन, one, of course, obvious reason is that beyond a certain stage in family, women opt out from higher responsibility because of the family pressure. Besides that also, even if there are two general managers, three general managers, two are male and one is female, and maybe in a FMCG company or manufacturing unit, it is generally seen that the male candidate will be promoted to the director or the vice president position, and this female will not be promoted. नहीं, ये production ही नहीं है. वो सब प्रोडक्शन फ्लोर में जाके वो सब हैंडल करना पड़ेगा. You have all read about Sudha Murthy's story. When she graduated engineering from Pune, I believe, she applied for a job in Tata Group, and that Tata Motors job, that time it was telco, they had clearly in the advertisement mentioned that we don't want women candidates, or for male candidates only. But however, she went, fought through, met the then chairman of the Tata Group, रतन टाटा के पिताजी जो थे, क्या जमशेदजी या जो भी है उनका, आई फॉरगेट हिज नेम, जमशेदजी टाटा, तो उनको मिलके पर्सनली शी इज द फर्स्ट इंजीनियर टू बी वर्किंग इन अ शॉप फ्लोर इन टेलको. She created history. So things are changing, but there is a glass ceiling for higher authority. That's practice. Next is, I will talk about sexual harassment. I am particularly taking up this point of sexual harassment because all of us understand what is sexual harassment. खास करके अभी तो काफी law भी बन गया है. So इसलिए there is no dispute about it. But some of the youngsters, in fact, when I was also young, like in college and fresh in corporate, I also did not understand. Yes, anybody is talking? Somebody.
इतने कई मगे थे, हिसाब न था तो मामा ना. काकू तुम देखा मैं इतने कई गोटे तो बर्गर झाड़े खाइले.
Amir sir, I request to please mute other participants.
पाऊ ना बोले का
Amir
गोटे
sir.
दिन के लिए बना करो.
Okay, thank you. So even when I was young and even till late young age of my life, these two terms are different. I did not know that. Sexist and sexiest. Look at these two terms, sexist and sexiest. Sexiest, of course, everybody all of knew earlier. Anything that is suggestive of sex, having sexual nature indication, that is sexist. Fine. But sexist is to do with gender, need not be sexual. A person who discriminates on grounds of sex, someone who practices is sexism. Unfairly discriminating. Just because somebody is a girl, she cannot do this job. In sports, अभी भी काफी championship है जहाँ women trophy gets lesser cash prize than the male trophy. And obviously, male folks always argue, "Nahi, male are more powerful, more physically stronger." I mean, but there are certain incidents where even women's athletes have beaten the male record also. I classically remember sometime around 70s, there was a famous lawn tennis match. Of course, it was an unofficial match because those days also there were a lot of event like कि Wimbledon championship में जो champion बनता है, male का price ज़्यादा क्यों रहता है Wimbledon, female का क्यों कम रहता है? So those days Billie Jean King करके एक female American female was the champion. She challenged कि एक male champion को तू मेरे साथ match खेल मैं तेरे को हरा के देखता हूँ. So she was also by that time she had won the championship. So she challenged one of the earlier male champion also. And classically that match so happened, and Billie Jean King, the female, defeated the male champion. Of course, there was a little age difference, but that's not the issue. Point is the notion that just because she's a woman, she should get lesser prize money was defeated and proven to be wrong by Billie Jean King. So that's it. So any discrimination against gender is sexist, and sexist, of course, all of us know that any direct sexual indications or whatever. So youngsters should know that, because अभी जो harassment, sexual harassment act है law में, उसमें बहुत चीजें आप सोचे होगे नहीं ये तो sexual harassment नहीं हुआ, for that can come under the purview of sexual harassment act under this clause. ये जो sexist वाला जो है, आपने gender discriminate किया तो उसमें भी पढ़ सकते. So be careful. You should understand the meaning of gender discrimination as different to any sexual connotation. Then of course marketing में तो बहुत कुछ concepts है. I will not get into those details because we have lost some time because of my network being down. I will now go back probably to that insider trading case. You should all know that. Here is this gentleman called Rajat Gupta. भाई हमारे भारत का. We were all proud of him till about 90s and 2000 early days. You know what happened to him मैं तो बाद में दिखाऊंगा. पहले उनका बायोडाटा आपको दिखाता हूँ. He was a Kolkata born Indian, Rajat Gupta. IIT दिल्ली से पास किए. काफी आप समझते हो कि IIT दिल्ली का प्रोडक्ट है तो किस टाइप का एकेडमिक कैरियर होगा. MBA हार्वर्ड से की और बड़े बड़े ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ज्वाइन करके मैकिंजीज में मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर पोजीशन तक गए थे. इनफैक्ट जब वो मैकिंजीज में मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर पोजीशन में गए, he was the first Indian born CEO of a multinational corporation way back in 94. तब कोई इंडियन बहुत बड़ा एमएनसी का ग्लोबल सीईओ नहीं बना था. ये इंदिरा नूई हुआ या उसके बाद तो विक्रम पंडित सिटी बैंक के ग्लोबल हेड बने थे. इंदिरा नूई पेप्सी के बने थे. अभी तो आप लोग सब जानते हो सुंदर पिचाई और सत्य नादेला, वो सब ये तो अभी की बात है. पर Rajat Gupta ji is the very first Indian to be the global CEO, Indian born CEO of a multinational company, McKinsey. McKinsey, all of us know that #1 consulting companies. McKinsey's world के अभी भी, in fact आप लोग strategy में McKinsey framework वगैरह भी पढ़ते हो, right? So he was such a champion. IIT, Harvard, the first Indian to be global CEO, such a proud moment for India those days. And सोचिए उस टाइम में उनका सैलरी 5 to 10 मिलियन एनुअल सैलरी था. अब 10 मिलियन बोले तो कितना होता है आप तो जानते हो. मिलियन में 6 जीरो होता है. 10 मिलियन मतलब 7 जीरो, मतलब 1 करोड़ $1 सालाना सैलरी उस जमाने में. सोचो ये बंदे के पास क्या नहीं था यार. IIT डिग्री, हार्वर्ड MBA, एक 75 करोड़ इंडियन रुपीज एनुअल सैलरी, बिकॉज 1 करोड़ $. दोज डेज, अभी की आज की बात मैं नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं जब वो से थे. पता है he got involved in insider trading charges and ultimately criminal charges were proven against him. Here is the lapse of professional ethics. By the time he was McKinsey का मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर के उनके नाम पे केस चला, he had already got American citizenship, इसलिए नेशनलिटी अमेरिकन दिखाता है. और तब उनका टोटल नेटवर्थ $100 मिलियन था. उनका पर्सनल नेटवर्थ, जो कहते हैं ना पर्सनल नेटवर्थ, हाई नेटवर्थ वैल्यू पर्सन 2008. he got 2 years imprisonment because 4 क्रिमिनल चार्ज में पड़ गए. अमेरिका में क्या फेलोनी, जो क्रिमिनल चार्ज होता है उसको फेलोनी कहते हैं. इन 4 केसेस ही वाज कन्विक्टेड. 2 साल के लिए इम्प्रिजनमेंट हुआ, $5 मिलियन का फाइन दिया. फाइन बड़ी बात नहीं, जिसका $10 मिलियन एनुअल सैलरी था, 6 महीने का सैलरी उसने फाइन में दिया, बड़ी बात है. आई एम नॉट लुकिंग एट दैट, बट लुक एट द सिनेरियो. IIT, हार्वर्ड, फर्स्ट इंडियन टू बी ग्लोबल CEO, McKinsey का MD, and he is criminally prosecuted and in prison for 2 years. This is how, when professional ethics fail, you would land up in such manner. When Rajat Gupta had the biggest fame, Indian, I remember अभी जो हैदराबाद में एक इंटरनेशनल स्कूल ऑफ बिजनेस है, ISB, 1 ईयर वाला MBA प्रोग्राम है, जहां करीब 1 साल का फीस कुछ 35-40 लाख रहता है, और एक सिर्फ ग्लोबल MBA देता है, और वहां के प्लेसमेंट बच्चे भी वैसे सब ग्लोबल कंपनी में जाते हैं. हैदराबाद में, अभी मोहाली चंडीगढ़ में उनका सेकंड कैंपस भी आ गया. वो इट्स नॉट 2 years MBA डिग्री लाइक आवर्स, इट्स इंटरनेशनल डिग्री है. उसके फाउंडर मेंबर में, फाउंडर फादर में तो पहला चेयरमैन भी थे तब. इनफैक्ट वो जब उनके नाम पे चार्जेस हुआ, ही रिजाइन फ्रॉम ISB, इंटरनेशनल स्कूल ऑफ बिजनेस हैदराबाद. ओके, सो सोचिए ऐसे प्रोफाइल के पर्सन भी प्रोफेशनल इथिक्स में पढ़ सकता है. That's why guys, I'm especially focusing today's delivery session to the youngsters who will be another 1 year hence, they'll be joining companies. And if they do not appreciate professional ethics, then who will take care of the future community and professional ethics in organization? Anyway, अब उनका राजगुप्ता तो स्टोरी हो गया. Now let's come to story of country to country politics. अब देखिए ना, अभी जो कोविड का वैक्सीन को लेकर वर्ल्ड का पॉलिटिक्स हो रहा है. Nobody is doing anything illegal, but completely it looks so unethical. वर्ल्ड वाइड वैक्सीन का शॉर्टेज जब था, जब शुरू में जनवरी में जब जो बाइडेन जीत के आए, तब तक वैक्सीन कोई चालू नहीं हुआ था. आई थिंक मार्च से वैक्सीन चालू हुआ. तब तक जस्ट फाइजर, मॉडर्ना, जॉनसन और एस्ट्राजेनेका व्हिच इज कोविशील्ड इन इंडिया, दे हैड जस्ट अनाउंस्ड देयर प्रोडक्ट एंड दैट प्रूवन कि हमारा फेज 2 ट्रायल हो गया है, अभी फेज 2 भी हो गया. नाउ वी आर रेडी टू लॉन्च इफ गवर्नमेंट अलाउज. तो जब हर जगह सप्लाई प्रॉब्लम चल रहा था और इंडिया वाज वेरी हैप्पी कि मेरे पास तो दो वैक्सीन का फॉर्मूला है, मेरे को तो वैक्सीन का इशू नहीं आएगा. सडनली हमने अखबार में पढ़ा कि यहाँ प्रोडक्शन एनफ नहीं हो पा रहा है. नॉट दैट हमारे फैक्ट्री में कैपेसिटी नहीं थे, जितने भी थे. एस्ट्राजेनेका का कहना था कि कोविशील्ड के जो रॉ मटेरियल आता है मैक्सिमम वो यूएस से आता है, मेजर रॉ मटेरियल. और जब तक वो रॉ मटेरियल नहीं आता, मेरे पास काबिलियत है, मेरे पास टेक्नोलॉजी है, मेरे पास प्रोडक्शन यूनिट है, मेरे पास कस्टमर है, मेरे पास गवर्नमेंट का परमिशन है, मेरे पास गवर्नमेंट का सप्लाई चेन लॉजिस्टिक्स सिस्टम है फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, आई स्टिल कैन नॉट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट प्रॉपर्ली. लुक एट द सिनेरियो यार. कोविड जैसा वर्ल्ड पैंडेमिक में भी कंट्री टू कंट्री पॉलिटिक्स चल रहा है. बिकॉज आई एम इन इंडियन, आई थिंक है यार, यूएस इज डूइंग ए वेरी अनफेयर थिंग. रॉ मटेरियल सप्लाई में क्यों स्क्वीज डाल रहा है? बट यूएस डिड ए वेरी लीगल थिंग फ्रॉम देयर पर्सपेक्टिव. यूएस में एक लॉ है, यू ऑल शुड नो दैट लॉ, क्योंकि बहुत पुराना लॉ है. आई थिंक जस्ट ए मिनट. हाँ, डीपीए, डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन एक्ट. यूएस ने ये लॉ 1950 या 56 में किया था. सोचो, 70 years बैक का एक लॉ जिसका नाम था डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन एक्ट. वो लॉ बना था कोरिया वार के बाद. यूएस में थोड़ा बहुत वेरियस आइटम का शॉर्टेज चला था, तो उस वक्त ये एक्ट बना था कि अगर कोई चीज एक्सपोर्ट हो रहा है यूएस से बाहर किसी कंट्री में जा रहा है, अगर यूएस में उसका जरूरत ज्यादा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ नेशनल डिफेंस, तो यूएस प्रेसिडेंट को पावर है, वो एक ऑर्डिनेंस जारी करके सब वो एक्सपोर्ट बंद करा सकता है. बंद नहीं कराता है, वो एक पावर एक्सरसाइज करता है कि पहले तुम यूएस का डिमांड फुलफिल करो, फिर तुम एक्सपोर्ट कर सकते हो अदर्स. तो डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने भी उसको इन्वोक किया था और जो बाइडेन भी आके उसको कंटिन्यू किए कि बिकॉज वैक्सीन सबको हर जगह शॉर्टेज है और यूएस के लोगों को अभी तक वैक्सीन नहीं मिला, तो जो बाइडेन ने वही 1956 का ऑर्डिनेंस को फिर से लागू कर दिया जनवरी में आके कि जब तक यूएस का कंप्लीट वैक्सीनेशन रॉ मटेरियल कंप्लीट अवेलेबल नहीं होता, तब तक कोई यूएस का कंपनी इंडिया या कहीं बाहर वो रॉ मटेरियल दे नहीं. So in a way, it was a very smart move. It was not illegal. It was legal from US law point of view. They did not ban export. They said we are not banning, but we are saying first priority is US supply. वो खत्म होने के बाद तुम इंडिया में सप्लाई. ऑटोमेटिकली एस्ट्राजेनेका को मिला नहीं रॉ मटेरियल, हम लोग का सब डिले होता गया. बट अभी वो उनका यूएस नाउ इज कंफर्टेबल, सो नाउ दैट. सोचिए, इसमें भी दोनों साइड लीगली करेक्ट थे. एस्ट्राजेनेका वाज करेक्ट बिकॉज उसने ऑलरेडी 50% प्रोडक्शन सप्लाई गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को इंडियन वैक्सीन के लिए देने के लिए कमिट किया था. सो ही हैड अ लीगल डिमांड. बट यूएस का लॉ बोल रहा है कि जब तक यूएस का सप्लाई नहीं देता वो एक्सपोर्ट, तब तक सेकंड प्रायोरिटी. Both, that's why I'm saying it could be confusing when it comes to professional ethics. Even presidents cannot help. Countries may have different laws. Each country will adhere to their law. They will take each country's citizens' interest into mind. Obviously, जैसे हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर, हमारे प्रेसिडेंट इंडिया के सिटीजन्स के इंटरेस्ट को पहले देखते हैं, उनका प्रेसिडेंट भी उनको देखता है. इसीलिए they said कि you cannot export unless US is fulfilled. This is how professional ethics can be very messy. That's why right from the beginning I said ethics is very subjective, and sometimes even leaders, countries, organizations also do not know what to do. However, I am not here to present solutions, but at least हम लोग सब जानेंगे, aware रहेंगे, तो शायद हम लोग का understanding of other person, ethics of recognition will be better. Ethics of participation will be better. If ethics of transaction will be better. All these three things actually culminate into professional ethics. एंड इसका तो बहुत पुराना स्टोरी है, छोटा सा स्टोरी बोलता हूँ. बाय द वे, Nehemiah and Vaishali, please tell me, can I take another 10-15 minutes? Otherwise, I mean, if I'm running behind schedule, I'd rather, I mean, with the permission of the chair and.
Sure, sir. No problem, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'll take probably another 10-12 minutes because there are some nice examples. Theory is all gone. Now it's all example. ये तो अभी का कोविड की बात है, पर देखिए एथिक्स हमें कितना पहले से सता गया है. बिटवीन टू कंट्रीज अगेन, आई एम टॉकिंग ऑफ 1960s, जब मैं शायद स्कूल में था, क्लास 4 या 5 में था, 3 या 4 में था. इंदिरा गांधी तभी नया लेट 60s में इंदिरा गांधी बिकेम प्राइम मिनिस्टर. जैसे ही इंदिरा गांधी प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने, उसी पीरियड में इंडियन इकोनॉमी कुछ अदरवाइज ऑल्सो वाज गोइंग इनटू लो फेज. इनफैक्ट इंडियन इकोनॉमी में 1967 में पहली बार आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस, 20 साल के इंडिपेंडेंस, इंडियन रुपीज वाज डीवैल्यूड. आई रिमेंबर आई वाज इन स्कूल, बट वी ऑल रेड इन उड़िया समाज न्यूज़पेपर दैट तब सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर, फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर कोई सचिंद्र चौधरी करके थे, जो कोलकाता के लॉयर हैं, और वो थे. ही बिकेम वेरी अनपॉपुलर बिकॉज ही इज द फर्स्ट फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया टू डीवैल्यू इंडियन रुपी. बिकॉज देयर वाज वर्ल्ड प्रेशर. हम लोगों का बहुत एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट का इशू चल रहा था. अमेरिका वाज क्रिएटिंग प्रेशर कि तुम इंडियन रुपी को बहुत हायर वैल्यू रखे हो, उसको डीवैल्यू करना पड़ेगा. मतलब $1 के अगेंस्ट डीवैल्यू, मतलब इंडिया का अमाउंट बढ़ना पड़ेगा. पहले अगर $1 में 5 रुपया था, अभी उसको तुम ₹1 में 10 रुपया करो, 8 रुपया करो. दैट्स व्हाट इज डीवैल्यू. ओके, एंड ही बिकेम वेरी अनपॉपुलर. यू नो, उसी पीरियड में यूएस, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी यूएस सेकंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद सुपर पावर बन गया था, तो दे हैड लॉट ऑफ मनी, दे हैड लॉट ऑफ सरप्लस. उनके पास एग्रीकल्चर आउटपुट सरप्लस था. इंडिया में मरूडी था, क्या फैमिन था उस टाइम में. हमारे ग्रेन शॉर्टेज थे, हमें खरीदना पड़ता था बाहर के कंट्री से. बाद में ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन होकर अभी इंडिया में ग्रीन सरप्लस हो गया है, और उस जमाने में इंडिया भूखा रहता था. तो यूएस ने क्या कहा, यूएस ने बोला मेरे पास आई हैव गॉट सरप्लस ऑफ व्हीट, आई कैन गिव इट टू इंडिया. बट सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद, इफ यू रिमेंबर, इंडिया वाज इन ए नॉन अलाइंड ब्लॉक. मतलब हम लोग ना यूएस के सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, ना रशिया को कर रहे थे. नेहरू एंड लॉट ऑफ अदर लीडर्स पुट टुगेदर, दे आर क्रिएटेड ए नॉन अलाइंड, कि हम लोग न्यूट्रल रहेंगे. तो यूएस ने बोला कि तुम्हारा जो न्यूट्रल स्टैंड लेते हो इंटरनेशनल इश्यूज में, हमें तकलीफ देता है. यू हैव टू हेल्प अस, यू हैव टू फेवर अस. तुम एक काम करो, तुम हमसे सरप्लस गेहूं लो, we'll give you at very subsidized rate, like if not zero free, but like a donation. बहुत कम रेट में आपको wheat देंगे, पर in return you should allow your agriculture sector to be open for US. In fact, that time जो जॉनसन, लिंडन भी जॉनसन थे, उन्होंने एक कंपनी को रॉकफेलर फाउंडेशन करके कंपनी, स्लाइड में सब आया, शेयर ऑल दी स्लाइड्स. उस कंपनी को बोला गया था तुम इंडिया में ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन में हेल्प करोगे, एंड इन द प्रोसेस दे विल मेक $multi-million रुपीज $. तो मजबूरी में हमने PL 480, विच इज द यूएस पब्लिक लॉ 480 एक्ट पे, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे तो साइन कर दिया, पर हम उसको झेल नहीं पाए. क्यों? यूएस का ये जो कंडीशन था हर चीज में, तो अगर उसमें हम पूरा उसको कंटिन्यू करते ना, तो अभी तक इंडिया would have become a complete चमचा country of US. तो समाव और सिस्टम, और हमारा तो हर 4-5 साल में इलेक्शन भी होता है, इसलिए इवन इफ कोई गवर्नमेंट अगर देश को सरेंडर करा देता है, दूसरा गवर्नमेंट आकर उसको पलट देता है. तो इसलिए एक नाइस थिंग अबाउट डेमोक्रेसी इज दैट नोबडी कैन डू ए डैमेज परमानेंटली, थिंग्स विल चेंज. इसलिए तो यूएस फिर हमें कोऑपरेट नहीं किया. सो PL 480 के नाम पे हमें धोखा दिया गया था. इट्स अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिस. उनका लॉ था PL 480, उन्होंने एडयर किया, हमने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करके देखा कि हमारे बाकी इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज में डोमिनेट करने को चाह रहे हैं. सो वी वर नॉट हैप्पी अबाउट इट. सो बोथ साइड में, सो देयर आर अनएथिकल इंसिडेंट्स लॉन्ग सिंस. और रिसेंटली तो आपको वोडाफोन का स्टोरी बोलने की जरूरत नहीं, क्लास में कई बार डिस्कस हुआ है, जिसमें गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और वोडाफोन में केस चल के सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक के वोडाफोन तक जाके गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में जीत गई. पर जब ये मैटर इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस को गया, वहां वोडाफोन जीत गया, और इंडिया गवर्नमेंट को बोला गया पूरा रिफंड करो पैसा और पेनल्टी दो, एक कॉस्ट ऑफ लिटिगेशन करके. अभी तो कोई समाधान नहीं हुआ है. दैट इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट जस्टिस के अगेंस्ट में अगेन इंडिया ने सिंगापुर, जो कि आर्बिट्रेटर कोर्ट था बिटवीन वोडाफोन एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, क्योंकि वोडाफोन ने भी जो मर्जर किया था, एक कंपनी को खरीदा था मैक्स हचिसन करके, उस टाइम मैक्स हचिसन का लाइसेंस था इंडिया में सर्विस देने के लिए, टेलीकॉम सर्विस, वोडाफोन का नहीं था, तो उन्होंने उसको पूरा खरीद लिया, पर उन्होंने इंडिया में नहीं खरीदा, उस कंपनी को उन्होंने सिंगापुर में खरीद लिया, और सिंगापुर कंपनी इंडियन कंपनी का ओनर था। सो उन्होंने बोला इंडिया गवर्नमेंट को हमें कोई टैक्स नहीं देना, क्योंकि हमारा जो बाइंग ओवर हुआ है, मर्जर एक्विजिशन सेल्स हैज हैपेंड इन द सॉइल ऑफ सिंगापुर, व्हाई शुड वी पे टैक्स टू इंडिया? एक्चुअली लीगली देखा जाए तो शायद तब इंडिया के पास वो लॉ नहीं था कि तुम चाहे बाहर कंट्री में एग्रीमेंट साइन करो, पर जब तक हमारा मार्केट और हमारा कंज्यूमर को अफेक्ट करता है तो हम तुम्हें टैक्स डालेंगे। तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने क्या किया? देखिए, इसमें कौन अनइथिकल में बोलना नहीं चाहते, क्योंकि मैं भी एक इंडियन हूं, आई विल ऑलवेज सपोर्ट माय कंट्री एंड माय लॉ, बट इसमें अनइथिकल कौन है, किसको आप दोषी मानेंगे जानेंगे। 2007 में वोडाफोन ने मैक्स हचिसन को खरीदा सिंगापुर के सॉइल में, ऑल्दो इट कंटेन्ड इंडियन मार्केट इन टर्म्स ऑफ दैट कंपनी डूइंग ऑपरेशंस, राइट। अब 2007 में खरीदा, हम लोगों ने जब देखा कि इनिशियली हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में गवर्नमेंट का केस वीक जा रहा है, तो 2012 में वो जब वो कंपनी ने खरीदा, उसका 5 साल के बाद हमारा पार्लियामेंट ने एक नया एक्ट ले आया 2012 में, जिसमें रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव टैक्स कलेक्ट होगा पिछले पीरियड। वो एक्ट बना 2012 में, और उस एक्ट में प्रोविजन दिया गया कि इवन पुराने ट्रांजैक्शन, ये जो एक्ट लॉ बना है उससे पहले भी जो है उसका पैसा देना। तो उसके बल पे सुप्रीम कोर्ट में इंडिया गवर्नमेंट ने तो जीत गया, बट इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस ने बोला दिस इज अनफेयर। एक सेल ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ है 2007 में, तुम 5 साल के बाद एक नया लॉ बना के उस 2007 के ऊपर आप लागू कर रहे हो। नॉर्मली लॉ जब बनता है, नॉर्मल कोर्स में लॉ जब बनता है, लॉ एनैक्ट होता है, वो जब एनैक्ट होता है उसी पीरियड से इफेक्टिव होता है, पास्ट डेट से नहीं होता है ना। पर देखिए ना, ऐसे सिचुएशन में, और आई रिमेम्बर हमारे फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर तो प्रणब मुखर्जी साहब थे, बाद में वो जाके प्रेसिडेंट बने, फिर उनकी गलती नहीं, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कितना $1 बिलियन हार रही थी, उनको पे करना था वोडाफोन को, तो वो उतना पैसा अवॉइड करने के लिए उन्होंने लॉ चेंज करके पिछले डेट से इफेक्टिव करा। सो अभी भी वो केस सॉल्व नहीं हुआ, अभी भी हाई कोर्ट में जा रहा है। अब गॉड नोज फाइनली कौन जीतेगा कौन हारेगा, बट द पॉइंट इज इथिकल इश्यूज में कितना confusion, or even countries also can behave unethically, that's also is a case in point. So why only? So professional ethics can cover you, your organization, your community, your country, world at large। COVID जैसा क्या देख लिया हमने। And I think there are I will not go further because there is another small issue of Videocon scam जो कि ICICI बैंक के साथ हुआ था, जिसकी वजह से एक हमारे लाइक रजत गुप्ता, वी हैड अ ब्राइट स्टार, चंदा कोचर, द फर्स्ट लेडी मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ऑफ ए प्राइवेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, आईसीआईसीआई बैंक, क्योंकि तब अरुंधति भट्टाचार्य नहीं बने थे स्टेट बैंक एमडी, वो बाद में बने। सो डेट वाइज चंद्रा कोचर इज द फर्स्ट विमेन managing director of ICICI Bank, but unfortunately she ran into some ethical issues, जिसके वजह से वीडियोकॉन कंपनी ने चंद्रा कोचर के हस्बैंड के साथ कोई टाई अप किया था, कोई जॉइंट वेंचर बनाया था, तो उसी को नजर में रख के चंद्रा कोचर ने ICICI बैंक की तरफ से वीडियोकॉन की बहुत बड़ा लार्ज अमाउंट का लोन दिया, which is unethical। मैं एक कंपनी का एमडी हूं, मैं एक बड़ा बैंक का लोन दे रहा हूं, और वो भी लोन देने बड़ी बात नहीं, अगर लीगल वे में दिया है वैलिडेट करके तो नो इश्यूज, बट उन्होंने डिक्लेरेशन नहीं किया था कि इस कंपनी का मेरे हस्बैंड के कंपनी के साथ मिला जुला है। नॉर्मली इथिकल चार्टर में बोला जाता है जो डायरेक्टर है, ओनर है, प्रमोटर है, उनको पब्लिकली डिक्लेरेशन देना पड़ता है कि उनका कहीं कंफ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट तो नहीं है। चंदा कोचर had not officially declared it to stock exchange, SEBI stock exchange, or officially on written document basis to the companies। Then so she had to resign, अब बीच में अरेस्टेड भी हो गए। सो देखिए इतने टैलेंटेड लोग, रजत गुप्ता और चंदा कोचर का सोचता हूं तो कभी कभी सोचते हैं इतना उनके पास पैसा है, चंद्रा कोचर का सैलरी भी क्या नहीं होगा, आईसीआईसीआई बैंक के एमडी अगर सैलरी और बोनस मिला के क्या नहीं होगा, वो भी फंस जाते हैं। ये था चंद्रा कोचर स्टोरी। आई थिंक आई हैव फिनिश्ड माय टॉक, हाउएवर आई विल नॉट से थैंक यू येट बिकॉज I'll just stop the share of the slide, but I'll take up questions and Vaishali will help me in if there are already some questions parked in the chat box. Otherwise, I can take questions. You unmute your mic and ask questions. Yes. Yeah, Vaishali. Neha ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. So I would like to request all the students, do you have any queries? Anyone?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
Please
please
unmute
proceed.
and identify yourself, please, because here I'm.
Good evening, sir. I'm Ipshita. So my
Okay.
question is like the difference between professional ethics and general ethics. But sometimes it happens like the professional ethics overshadows general ethics. Like, for example, we need to meet the company's target, that is our professional ethics, but there is something unethical going on within. So, what to do at that time? Like, there are certain dilemmas associated. So, what is the solution to that?
I fully agree with you, Ipsita. I said these are stark, naked truth already existing in this world. If something is illegal, no issues. Company will face it. But there are always, they have met legal standard, but they are doing something unethical. I, as a ethical person, I'm not able to tolerate it. What do I do? That's why I said it's a very difficult decision. At least now there is an act called Whistleblower Act. If you invoke that act and disclose the wrongdoings of your own top management, government of India will protect. The law of the land will protect. But आप तो जानते हो लॉ ऑफ लैंड प्रोटेक्शन का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में क्या होता है यहाँ लोगों के पास ऑल सिक्योरिटी रह के भी लोग पीपल कैन एलिमिनेट दैट मैन बट यस आई एग्री ये प्रोफेशनल इथिक्स इज टॉपिक इसीलिए नॉर्मली आई विल एडवाइस अब इट इज नॉट एन एडवाइस बट आई सजेस्ट जब मैं प्लेसमेंट में भी जाता हूँ I try to do well in those companies who have a brand image for ethical standards. Not everybody does that, by the way, and not every position. For that matter, Ipsita, let me also assure you, initial days you don't have to worry. ये जितने unethical practice वगैरह visible होता है top management या higher middle management level. So even if I work for a very unethical company, as long as I am not doing any illegal work, but if it comes to my knowledge, either I invoke a Whistleblower Act and get it publicized, or probably I may decide to quit and not work there. To begin with, I may regret why did I join. Such situation may not happen every day or in every company. Let me tell you, don't be so worried also. But it does happen. Maybe 1 in 1,000. 1 in 10,000 such things. So probably Ipsita, I do not have answer to the problem because everybody is struggling with the same confusion. But at least Whistleblower Act is giving some limited protection. I don't know. This will not give you a complete satisfactory answer to your question, but I hope to begin with this is okay. Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other question? However, if you have any question in mind and you are not able to ask right now also, from Monday onwards, we are, I mean, especially the second semester students, we are meeting on various subjects. So we can always...
Excuse me, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, please shoot your question, please.
Yes, sir. I'm Pritish from section C.
Yeah, Pritish.
Yeah, sir. Actually, my question is all about that. Is spiritual ethic is required in business ethic? Because many times I found many managing director, chairman visiting spiritual guru to take some advice. I think that there is some requirement of spiritual ethics in business matter. Many times I found in televisions. So is that required for business environment?
See, Pritish, I have no idea about the spiritual ethics separately. I personally think there is nothing called spiritual ethics which is not personal ethics arena.
Yes, sir.
So it's only a way of presenting it. If a spiritual guru or leader is preaching it, he is presenting it as a spiritual ethics. Can you show me one spiritual ethics which is not in my personal ethics agenda? I may not be adhering to that, but it's all listed. So in a way, if you look at the whole scenario arena of personal ethics and general ethics, they're all there. Only thing we call it spiritual ethics. If a spiritual leader comes, like the art of living में हुआ या आपका सदगुरु जी हुए या दलाई लामा also Buddhism के बारे में spiritual ethics के बारे में. But if you see the basic thing is all in the general ethics and personal ethics. There is nothing separate called spirituality. Coming back to other question, how to apply in organization. If your personal ethics is in good standard, you don't have to worry about other things, because your professional ethics are actually a reflection of your personal ethics in a business organization. Am I clear, Pritesh?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any other question?
Sir, may I go for another one question, sir?
Yeah, you can. It's Vaishali who decides how long we can continue, because she is now conducting the session. But I am open.
Okay,
I am
sir.
available. I am open. Available.
Okay.
Yeah, please shoot your question.
Okay, sir, I found, sir, many times we found that a big organization only follow the ethics, but in small organization there is some conflict between the management, board of team, and employees. So, what is the problem? Why not small organization follow that kind of ethics which is followed by the big organizations? So
Yeah,
this
these
is
are
my
also
question.
yeah, I agree with you. There are also situational and contextual. It's very difficult to make a prescription or make a judgment sitting from outside. There is a nice kahavat in Hindi. Marta kya nahi karta. If you're actually dying, and you know I'm dying in next 5 minutes, will you bother about social distancing? Will you bother about masking? Not for COVID or whatever, even if otherwise also. Will you care for that? So when it comes to मरता, so इसीलिए अगर कोई स्टार्टअप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कभी कुछ सर्वाइवल के लिए क्या करता है, it's very difficult to weigh them in a scale of ethics, because unless we run that organization, it's very difficult to make that judgment. That's why though all ethics are not law. That means there are always huge area of ethics where all of us agree that we can't make it law. However, दुख होता है जिन लोग इथिक्स को एडयर कर सकते हैं, उन लोग मरता टाइप नहीं है, वो जब तोड़ते हैं इथिक्स. पीपल लाइक विजय माल्या, पीपल लाइक नीरव मोदी, पीपल लाइक मेहुल चोकसी, पीपल लाइक रजित गुप्ता, people like, I don't know, on Chanda Kochar case, I am not giving any opinion because the case is still pending. Judgment है. Rajat Gupta case में judgment okay? Or even countries or organization, there it pains. किसके पास क्या नहीं था जो इसके लिए उसको ethics तोड़ना था? एक भिखारी अगर चोरी करता है, हम उसको माफ कर देते हैं. पर अच्छा खासा SUV में घूमने वाला, एयर कंडीशन में सोने वाला आदमी चोरी करता है, तो आप उसे माफ करोगे क्या? So I mean, कोई स्टार्टअप अपना सर्वाइवल के लिए, स्मॉल बिजनेस अपना नॉट ओनली अपना सर्वाइवल, वो अपना छोटा बच्चा 5-10 एम्प्लॉय के लिए कुछ अगर बाय द वे वो अगर कुछ इलीगल करेगा तो ऐसे ही बंद हो जाएगा, पुलिस उसका अरेस्ट करेगी. आई ओनली प्रिज्यूम कि आपका क्वेश्चन है कि वो इलीगल कुछ नहीं कर रहा है पर कुछ अनइथिकल कर रहा है, उसमें इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू मेक ए जजमेंट. आई होप आई डोंट नो, आई मे नॉट गिव एनी सैटिस्फैक्टरी आंसर, बट दिस इज द ओनली आंसर आई कैन गिव. Pritesh, is it all right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, I'm sorry, we have overshot. I lost so much of time because of my network down. I'm again sorry. It was my mistake. I should have definitely kept a second laptop ready, but sorry. Had it been other days, I would be conducting this session in the institute's IT infrastructure where there's a lot of backup. It's only because of pandemic and I being a senior citizen, I did not step out of my house. I took this risk. I'm sorry about that. However, in future, we should not have any unpleasant drop of network like this. Thank you so much, Vaishali. If there are no other questions, I think I leave it to you.
So thank you so much, sir. I would like to thank Professor B.V. Das, sir, for presenting the limelight on competitive pressure and cross-culture contradiction as well. Even we get to know that the value of ethics in workplace. At the outset, I place on record my sincere gratitude to the advisor academic, Professor Engineer P.R. Patnaik, Honorable Principal, BIITM, Dean Sir, and Professors. I thank Mr. Pratap Balwant Rai, Executive Director of BIITM, for his unstinted support rendered to us. We are thankful to Team IQAC, BIITM, for arranging such insightful webinar. Thanks and heartful gratitudes are due to the Principal Sir for planning and executing the entire program. Thanks to IT, light and sound and the entire crews for uninterrupted technical support. I thank one and all. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much.